Hi there, YouTube. I wanted to make um, an evening update video. So I had a really good day. Um, it was actually kind of interesting because um, it was a good day because of the way that I reacted. I responded proactively to an increasingly difficult situation, which is that, yeah, I don't have work, so I'm don't have a lot of money and really quickly need to figure that out. So I today I well, this morning I called the local crisis line, which I often do. Not every day, but there have been times where I called them every day, and I had a really good 20, almost 30-minute conversation with someone about, well, we ended up talking about the idea of working as a peer counselor. And this person actually had been a therapist in the military, and they also worked as a peer counselor. And they said they actually preferred being a peer counselor because you get to share more about yourself, and yeah, it's a little bit less responsibility. So I'm excited, and today after I went to WorkSource, which was, I think, one of the suggestions I got from the guy on the phone. They, they sent me to another place that I couldn't make it to today, but a staffing agency. I'll check out tomorrow or Monday, and hopefully have some short-term temporary work to keep my bank account from going to zero. And that was kind of stressful actually getting there, because I thought it was at the library, and then when I got to the library they told me it was at a different building, a little bit of a walk away. And the person gave me the flyer with the directions, and they also told me that it's by a park. So instead of putting in the address, I put in the park, and I walked all the way to that park. And when I got there, I realized that the building was actually way far away on the opposite corner of the lot, the next over lot. So I was mad. And it wasn't that guy's fault, but like I was like cursing that man. And when I got to this place called WorkSource, they told me that if I'm looking for temporary part-time work, that I should go to this other staffing agency. And I went back to the transit center because I don't drive anymore, and or these days at least. The bus was delayed, and it's kind of warm, not as hot as most of the country, fortunately, but it's uncomfortably warm. And I had my earbuds in, but the engine of the bus idling in the spot behind me as I was waiting, it just kind of got to me. And by the time I got on the bus, I was all good, and it was comfortable, and I was happy, and really enjoyed being out and in public and seeing the people. And I felt weirdly like my heart was more open, and I was connecting and like really just enjoying the people, not talking to them, and they weren't talking. Everyone was minding their own business, but I liked being around them, and I felt good. And I felt some acceptance about my situation. Obviously I want my relationship to work out, but if it doesn't, such is life. And I've always got myself, and I do love myself, and my life is meaningful, and it's okay. But yeah, obviously I still want it to work out. And so when I got home, I was going to join this Zoom group I was excited about, but apparently it was yesterday. I wrote down the wrong date, which freed me up to go to the local peer support center where they have an autism support group in person. And I was nervous and I almost didn't go, but I used the advice of my therapist for pathological demand avoidance. I gave myself an option and I said, I can either go today or I can go next week. And I just thought about how I would feel if I didn't go today, and I realized I wanted to go today. So somehow giving myself that option and reasoning it out made it more doable. So that was good advice from my therapist. If you're autistic and you struggle with pathological demand avoidance, try to give yourself an option. So yeah, I did stuff. Oh, the support group was great. I was the only person there aside from the facilitator, but I had a great conversation with that very nice facilitator who is also autistic, and the room we were in had a string of lights around it that were blue, green, and purple, and otherwise the lights were off, so it was really nice in there for a light sensitive person. And they had boxes of fidgets, so I had a good fidget to sit there with. I had a really good conversation. And they asked me if there was anything they wanted help, anything that I wanted help with that they could look into and prepare for the next week's session. And I told them I'm looking for a job, part-time work. And so they're going to look into it, neurodivergent friendly part-time work. And next week I'll meet them and see what resources they came up with. And I've got some here too from the Department of Vocational Rehab. They told me that they accepted my application. They don't have funding right now, so they can't help me yet, but there are other places that can. And one of them actually is WorkSource. I went there today. And another one on here is the peer support center that I went to today. So that's good. I did that before I even saw this letter, and so it kind of feels like a form of confirmation that I'm doing the right things. But the biggest form of confirmation is that I feel better. I feel so much better. And it's ironic, but also it makes sense because I wasn't forced to be out there for a very long time. If I had a car or a motorcycle or something, I would have been out there for less time, but still it was a in and out kind of a deal, and I was taking care of myself. I told myself that if I was too tired, I would just do the support group the next week and whatever, but I was able to do both things and it felt good. So that encourages me. I'm learning how to be an autistic adult. I know that life's not predictable, and the ceiling could fall down at any time, but I do feel encouraged, and I hope you're having a good day too, wherever you are, whenever you see this. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.